everyone. My name is Tumini Ivan, a group member of Group 24, and together with my team, we are required to come up with an automated depreciation schedule for Kabohe Women's Group Association. And in the assignment, we are required to come up with a login form that grants access to only authorized users, and we are successful at creating that. In that, when a user tries to access the Excel sheet, he or she is requested to feed in the login credentials as demonstrated above, as you can see, of which the credentials are BBC and the password is 2025. As you can see, we have been granted access successfully, and this is a sample of the different assets, their cost, the salvage value, the cost at which the asset is expected to be sold after its useful years, as indicated here. You can see the useful years. Then the depreciation method, where we have the straight line, sum of year, and also the reducing balance. Then finally, there's what we call the annual depreciation for the first year, and even the date at which the machine was entered into the system. We are going to go ahead and demonstrate this with an example, but though I would love to take you through how we came about this application. So a user will go ahead to the developer tool and look for Visual Basic tool. When you double click this, this is where we developed our user form and assign the different variables for which are to store the different values of the asset. That is the variable number one, where we had the asset name, the cost, salvage value, useful years, and the depreciation method. The depreciation method, as I said earlier, we had three. That is the straight line, reducing balance, and the sum of year. Yes. In here is our code that we used to come up with this entire application, which involved declaring the different variables that are to store our data. We went ahead and created what we call the calculation codes for calculating the depreciation for each method of depreciation. Yes, there's a lot here of which I can't exhaust or elapse in one video, but these are some, and then we also come up with a code for reading and validating the inputs. Let's say, for example, for the asset name, let's say a user has failed or has forgotten to insert in his or her asset name or the credential. The system will outprint, please enter the asset name. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and take you straight to our login form that we had seen earlier. This is how it looks like. These are the variables we assigned it, the user ID and the user password, and it can only grant access to authorized personnel using the credentials that were assigned to it. If I can try to show them to you here. So we went ahead and assigned this login form with a user of admin and the password of admin. Same time, we gave it BBC and the password of 2025. This is to grant access to only users who feed in those right credentials. Yeah. So I'll take you straight forward to the form and we try to demonstrate and see what we shall get. So if I go ahead and run this code, the form will come and surface on top of my Excel sheet. As you can see, this is what we call the asset register sheet. They're down here. So these were some of the examples that I was using, but I'm not being given access because I have pulled out the form. Okay, so let's give it an asset. Let's say okay, an asset like a tractor, computer, laptops. Let's say laptops. Yeah, let's say that the association purchased laptops at a cost of 800,000 and will be expected to be sold at a salvage value of 200,000, and we shall use them for a period of, let's say, 5 years, even 4. Let's go for 4. we shall choose a depreciation method of declining balance. So we can go for the straight line, but mostly for the straight line, we use the straight line method for mostly long-term assets of the business. That is, let's say, furniture. Let's go for furniture now. Sorry for the changes. Yeah, furniture is mostly used under the straight line declining method. Okay, so when we go ahead and submit, you can see the system has outputted that depreciation schedule created successfully for the furniture asset. And as you can see, it has created its own. Yeah, this is trying to show us the final year, like on the asset value. So as you can see, it created a separate sheet indicating the years of usage for the furniture, the beginning book value, the depreciation expense, and the ending book value as indicated here. So this is a separate sheet as I can see here. As you can see, when you come down here below console, then I'll just sorry about that, come up to our Excel. So we have created a sheet for our depreciation of the furniture as an asset. And when we come to the asset register, as you can see here, the furniture has been included among our assets that depreciate at a steady value of 150k per year. Because this is straight line method, so the depreciation rate is always fixed as indicated here. And with no further ado, this is how the sheet basically operates. And if you can go through and see, this is for the depreciation of the mixer, depreciation of the building, depreciation of the computers. So basically, if I'm to sum up with this automation creates a depreciation scheme for each asset as indicated in the form on a separate sheet, and after it summarizes all assets from their different sheets on one sheet, which is called the asset register as indicated here. And thank you for listening. That is my presentation.